Hello, my friends call me Sharky, and today I will explain to you what can go wrong if you want to see the Northern Lights in Norway. Certainly you have already seen some beautiful photos or videos of Northern Lights on the internet. And those of you who like travel just like me have certainly started to think about how, where and when you could experience this natural phenomenon. So now I will tell you what you should avoid in the first place. I don't want to have a long lecture about the sun cycle, but in short, the more active the sun is, the more frequent and brighter the northern lights are. Solar activity varies from minimum to maximum in 11-year cycle. So if you are planning a trip to the Arctic cycle to enjoy the night sky, first consider the year. In 2019 we had a solar minimum, so there was nothing to see in the sky, which I had also convinced myself. Of course, even during the minimum some lucky single flash can occur, but you need to be quite patient for such one. The next maximum is expected to be in 3 or 5 years, so I recommend going on a journey not earlier than in 2022. You definitely need to have a good weather for skywatching. Therefore, I recommend you to choose inland areas around the Baltic Sea or Iceland rather than the western coast of Norway. The moist air from the Atlantic Ocean collides with the Norwegian mountainous coast and causes endless rains, snowfall, storms and everything that can ruin your stargazing. However, if you couldn't resist the harsh Norwegian nature and want to combine evening observations with daytime hikes, you just made the same mistake I already did. So, if Norway is your goal anyway, you should at least think about the season of the year when to go for a trip. Do not travel in summer in any case. Summer is good for hiking and landscape photography, visiting fjords, but it is by no means good for watching the northern lights because there is a midnight sun. The spring is the second bad option, as I have convinced myself too. Even though the daytime and the nighttime are in reasonable ratio, the weather won't be very good at this time. By the way, snowdrifts are still everywhere, and all guided tours to chase northern lights end on the last day of March. Winter is good for watching the starry night, but not good for the search for the observation point. The temperature drops down deep below freezing point at night, and there are 3 meters high walls of snow alongside the road, so the only place where you will be able to move around will be the road for the vehicles. So if you don't want to get lost in the snow so they can't find you till May, I do not recommend this season. The winter is autumn, especially the first half of October. The day and night are 50-50, snowdrifts and freezing cold are not present yet, and the weather is much more favorable than in the spring. So my idea to go to Norway to observe the northern lights in the spring of 2019 has been doomed to failure. If you have already crossed the Arctic cycle and you are staying in a hotel, do not look for the northern lights in the sky. Be sure to try to move at least some 10 kilometers outside the city so that the light pollution from street lighting will not spoil your photos. If you don't have your own car, I recommend using one of the organized trips. In the cities you can find the tourist offices with a good offer literally at every turn. The mountains and steep fjords are not a problem if you have the lights directly above your head. Still, it is much better to move to a more flat area where you have a view of the entire horizon. If you are worried that every night will be as cloudy as I experienced, be sure to plan your trip for more than just 2 or 3 days. While in Norway the weather is changing more often than the songs on the radio, you will still have a better chance of a good shot if you plan some more extra days, like a backup for an observation. I recommend going for at least 1 week trip. Norway is a country that allows you to make great use of public transport. However, if you are looking for a good place with a clear sky, it won't help you if you don't want to walk for the rest of your journey just with a backpack. If the roads are frozen and lined with snow walls, don't even think about renting a car. You would have more worries than benefits. In this case, you should focus on the aforementioned domestic tour guide services. However, on dry roads and melted snow, the vehicle itself is a must. If you don't plan to arrive by car or if you don't have the money to spare, then you should think very well about arriving at the Arctic Cycle. You may not find a direct ticket to your dream location, so expect a transfer at the airport. Oslo is one of the largest transport hubs in Scandinavia, and most of the transfers are taking place here, but airline tickets are not the cheapest. This is particularly true for inland flights, which often cost too much. However, if you can find any alternative for a good price with one of the low-cost carriers, buy tickets without thinking. Flights beyond the polar circle are either very expensive or even more expensive. In the end, I have some good tips for you if you have decided to visit Norway. Although they don't use the euro in Norway, you can pay anywhere by card, even in the bus. Actually, I don't even know how the Norwegian krone looks like, and I came back a long time ago. You don't need any cash there. In Norway, everybody knows English, from small children to retirees. The drivers in buses or sales ladies in groceries are even no exception. Imagine a little salesman who speaks to you fluently in English. In my country, almost unimaginable. Everything is expensive, especially services. If you really want to save your money, you need to buy food in common stores and to cook something in your room. Otherwise, in restaurants you will always have to break a piggy bank to get some money. And the same counts for a beer in pubs. However, in stores our prices almost the same as in my country. Apart for a few exceptions, in the restaurants, pizzerias and even in the pubs, you cannot order anything from a waiter. You can make an order only at the bar. The waiter is there just to get dirty dishes and glasses out of the tables. If you plan to rent a car on arrival, book it at least 2 months in advance. Otherwise, the rental price will be so high that it is better to buy a used car. There is a saying in Norway, there is no such thing as a bad weather, only bad clothes. Think about it beforehand and better pack with you more than less. You won't be sorry. The nastiest weather in my country is a daily standard for Norwegians. The last and the most important advice: never order pizza in Norway. They just can't do it. They can cook any sea creature on 1,000 ways. But if you want a pizza, better buy a ticket directly to Italy. It's not worth it. And if you know how blue snow is made, write it to me into the comment section below, because it's quite a mystery to me. I hope I helped you with my short video by planning and making decisions, and I hope to see you in another interesting place soon. Did you like my video and want to see some more? Don't forget to click subscribe button.